So then they have a second meeting with a larger group of House leadership folks, and that is the meeting that is underway now. Then after that, they're going to go over to the other side of Capitol Hill, not inside the Capitol building itself, but to offices that are on that side of the Hill, where they will sit down with the National Republican Senate Committee to speak with some of the senators. And among those senators will be South Dakota Senator Sen Thune, who is chairman of the Senate Republican Conference, and he will meet with Mr. Trump today as well. Senator Thune, good morning to you. Lots of excitement there, huh?
Good morning, Martha. I guess it is indeed, yes.
So what's your take on all this?
Well, look, this is an opportunity for many of us to get acquainted with Donald Trump for the very first time. I mean, I think most members of the Senate, and for that matter, probably the House of Representatives, don't know him. And so this is sort of an introduction to him. It's an opportunity for us to hear from him about his vision for the future of this country, what he intends to do to unite the party and the nation as we head into the fall election. And so we're looking forward to a good and productive meeting, but it really is just for us an opportunity, really, to get acquainted with someone who we expect to be our party's nominee.
So he just met with Paul Ryan. How important do you think it is for Paul Ryan to endorse him?
Well, you know, Paul Ryan will make his own decisions and his own conclusions about that. Obviously, this is a process, I think, that needs to happen organically. You can't force that, and these are two people who need to get to know each other, and this meeting this morning, I think, represents at least a first opportunity to do that, and I'm sure there will be more meetings in the future. But in the end, I believe that when the fall election comes around, that we'll have a team that is united, that is unified, that recognizes that we can't allow Hillary Clinton to get a third term for Barack Obama. His policies have failed this country. Two-thirds of the American people believe that the country's on the wrong track, whether it comes to national security, to the economy, to Obamacare. These policies haven't worked, and we need a new direction.
Well, you know what? A lot of people in the sort of rise of Trump have pointed the finger at you guys, frankly, and said that, you know, people on Capitol Hill just aren't getting anything done. So now you guys are going to sit down with Donald Trump. What are you going to say to him? How are you going to approach that part of this equation?
Well, look, you know, in order for anything consequential to happen here in Washington, you have to have presidential leadership. And yes, we in the United States Senate, I believe, the last few years at least, have tried to get some things done, and I think been fairly successful given what we're dealing with, the president who opposes us at every turn. We would like to work with a president that actually wants to get things done for the country, big, bold things that will get this economy growing at a faster rate, create better paying jobs, keep Americans safe into the future. Those are the types of things that we want to find common ground with Donald Trump on, and I'm hopeful that this meeting today will again represent a first opportunity for at least him to convey to us what his vision is, and for us to give him a better understanding of what we need to do to hang on to our majority in the Senate and to change the direction of the country.
Here's Newt Gingrich talking about all this. Let's listen to that and get your thoughts.
One of Trump's great strengths is he's like the boy who says the emperor has no clothing. When Trump sees something stupid, he says it's stupid. Now, that's an enormous shock to many of our friends here who've been told you're supposed to say it's lacking in brilliance, which is the closest you can get to stupid.
Yeah, so he's saying, you know, enough with all the formalities, but the word is that some of the senators are going to talk to him about toning it down a little bit and toning down the insults. Do you expect to hear that conversation in there today?
I expect it'll be a fairly frank conversation, and it should be. The stakes are very high for the future of this country. He's our presumptive nominee. We have a lot of senators who are running for re-election to the Senate this year. We want to have a Senate majority for a Republican president to work with come January of next year. And so it's important as we pivot to the general election that we get it right. And I suspect that the conversation will involve the tone for the campaign. I think it'll talk about the policy issues that will be debated during the campaign, and for sure what Donald Trump's vision and agenda is for the future of this country.
Will you ask him to tone it down?
Well, I don't know that we'll see in the discussion, Martha. I'm someone like many who would love to see him tone it down. I think both in terms of what he says and how he says it. Sometimes there are ways that I think that can be communicated that is more winsome to more people across this country. And I think in a general election context, that will have to be the case. I think that he is someone who is a smart guy. He understands what's at stake, and he knows as he gets ready now to run an election, a general election campaign this fall, that he's got to appeal to all voters across this country, and I expect that we'll hear that from him today.
All right. I look forward to talking with you afterwards and seeing what you think. Thank you very much, Senator.
Thanks, Martha.